This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that.
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Hello, a big warm welcome. Yes, it's the Bar Stewards Enquiry Friday weekend preview show, and what a great weekend this is. Yes, it's the Derby, the pinnacle of all races. They sang the national anthem for the King today, except no one joined in. And joining me for the very final show of Bar Stewards Friday. It is what it is. I'll come to the reasons in a sec, but joining me for the very final show are my sidekick, John Lang, Andy Richmond, and Nick Davis. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone.
Coming on to the reasons for the Friday show of No More, we've been recording it for 42 months. It's been an absolute pleasure to do. I've met some fabulous people on here, and it's formed Bar Stewards, and it really has been my life for a few years now. And me and John did this for mental health. However, for the reasons we're stopping, because some people were thinking, it's because you're backing losers. You're right, that has sped up the decision. We were always going to end the show at the end of this season on Friday. Firstly, we are quite weary as a group, really. Doing a Friday show and a Sunday show, it affects, obviously, our lives, what we can do socially, what we can do work-wise. Secondly, we thought the enjoyment factor might have been just waning slightly in the fact that we want to tip you winners. At the end of the day, we want to do well for you. And when that sort of joy comes out of the show, that also takes its toll. We're not making excuses. We did genuinely feel that the time was coming, but we did think we'd do it till the end of this season. Results has sped that up. We've been disappointing this year, so we're hoping to go out with a bang. Because don't forget, we've finished in profit every single season we've done this. So it is what it is. Do our best, and unfortunately, none of us, I think Andy might be in profit. I don't think many of us are. John might be close to level. I've not got the figures, but we've all been struggling. So let's hope we can go out with a bang on Derby Day of all days. Right, so chaps, for the very final time, we could do the best bets round, which is, of course, 1, 2, and 3 points for tomorrow. So, Nick Davis, I know this is one of your more favoured meetings in terms of opportunities because you've got the older age handicaps. I'm intrigued to what is your 1 point bet.
We're going to go to the very last race of the day, the Tokyo Trophy Handicap. Rail in, so there'll be some fresh ground towards the inside. Most of the pace is going to be either the inside. With that in mind, I want to be low here. I'm going with the Palmer trained Flaming Rib. You look at it last time out, it had to use up a lot of petrol at Lingfield from his outside draw. Came into the straight, got hampered, and then hands were down and just let it coast home. It's back near now for 104, having been a 112 at one stage. And he's got some pace around it with Apollo 1 interventions. You get a lovely lead into the straight. And I always like it when the pace is low here, because I always think they'll go faster if the pace is on the outside, because they're trying to negate the draw and get in. And I think most of the pace will be low. So I can see this settling just behind the leaders. I respect Apollo 1, who I backed last year. I'm very close. And Badgery as well could be coming late. But I think Flaming Rib at the price dictated it for me.
So, at the prices, we're looking at 16 to 1, Nick. That's with Bet365, Paddy's and Betfair. Are you happy with your 1 point win at that?
Yep, that'd be fine.
Oisin in the saddle as well. Nice Brucey there. Good stuff, mate. 16 to 1 to kick us off. No favs on this show until you get to me. Andy Richmond.
There might be a fav coming up here.
Yes.
We are going to Doncaster for
Right.
the 650. And the horse is one of Mr. O'Mara's horses, Pearl D'Or, who got an absolute cack ride last time out. Not quite as bad as Miss Turner's ride today on Derry Lad, but it worked great from SDS last time out when it got backed into 9-2 favourite, and really should have won. Shaped miles better than the Bear result, came 10th. He managed to get it on completely the wrong part of the track, having had the draw which he should have stuck to and ridden to. Must be one to keep on side for a race like this. He won at Ascot and Newbury last year off marks of 81 and 84. He ran off 90 last time out. Takes a marked drop in class here, down a couple of pound, and he looks to, with Danny Tudhope taking over, and I think 1 point on Pearl D'Or to reclaim what I lost last time when SDS gave it a shocker. Isn't too bad for the 650 at Doncaster tomorrow night. So a point on Pearl D'Or. I've got absolutely no idea what price it is with the bookmakers.
So the second rule book comes out here. You get 4 to 1, Andy.
What's this rule book? Can I bet for SP then?
Oh, you can. No. I'm giving you 4s. It's 5 to 2 general, but it's 4s with Denise.
Oh, I'll take the 4s then.
Yeah.
Final share. Yeah.
All right, okay. I'll have the 4s then.
I get 5 to 2 them fuckers then.
That's why we're losing.
I won't get the 4s in real life.
Yeah.
We'll take the 4s. Yeah.
4 to 1 for Andy. Yes.
Lovely. Thank you.
Probably unofficially, we're going to crown him another Nats champion. Anyway,
I've got 2 already.
Yeah, I know. Two crowns. John.
I'm off to Musselburgh because, as you know, we had information for the 4 o'clock at Musselburgh.
Did we?
Yeah, we did, but it's not running. The shirt is running something else. He's running Highland Spring.
Oh, yeah, and it's had knackers off.
He was going to be running a Frovel, but this is the shirt selected of 2.
Ah.
So I'm taking the hint. First time gelded, step up to a mile should out. Drawn in the 1 box, perfect. Has enough pace to go handy. And as I say, plenty of promising 3 float ups. Plus, he could have run a Frovel. I would have won this.
Yeah.
1 point win.
Carpet and a half as well for you with Denise. Andy, I don't know if you've checked this, but Agus has got an amazing record with first time gelding.
Oh, I'd have to have a look at it, but I haven't.
Yeah. I'll carry on while you look at it, but he's first time geldings.
We'll do that live on the show then.
He loves chopping them off. He's a sadist.
It's bigger than Jesus. Is that stat? 3:45 Epsom. I'm going to the Epsom Dash. I am very keen on one here because I understand, like Nick, for example, like he has like a group of horses he likes following like throughout a campaign because he knows what track and trip and everything that they want. And I think this horse at 10 to 1, Dream Composer, is very good indeed because he's not been ridden correctly. He's not had things fall right. His marks dropped. He's got a useful claimer. They went forwards last time like divots. And I just think he's better when he gets a fast pace and a pace collapse. And I just feel that day will be tomorrow. And I just like the fact that unless draw plays a massive part and you've got to be like tight to that stands rail, but with the drying ground, I'm not certain that that'll be as vital, but Nick might come on to that later on. But 10 to 1 Dream Composer to me. I've been following this for a bit. I think he's ready to win. Will it be tomorrow? I hope so. 10 to 1 Bet365, 888 Dream Composer to finish the round. Sir, Jonas Lane, start round 2.
125 Epsom, and the selection is Bubbles Wonky of Happy Tin.
Sounds like one of your videos.
Yeah.
Or something at Donald Trump. It's
absolutely. The key run here is the Catterick win. The runner-up's now rated 78, so there's a tenuous case for saying this one can hit 93. He handles a sharp track, and the comeback run ought to have put him spot on in true Tim style. We can't rely on that, though, because we had that thing last week that run like it was shot. Buick's good round here, the draw's been kind, and to me, this doesn't look as deep as it usually is. And I think this lightly raced horse could just about have more improvement in him than probably the rest of them, really. So I've got 2 points win, Bubbles Wonky.
7 to 1 with Denise.
Yeah.
The second rule book comes out for you, John. The same. I treat all my people the same. Look, I love you. Right, on to me. Before we swing it back round to the more experienced bettors amongst us. 235 Epsom. Regal Reality is the call in the Diomed. Last year's winner, Brian Moore in the saddle yet again. They put Daft Safi on last time. That was never going to win. And I think this horse is ready to run a season's best here today. He beat Highland Avenue in the race last year, despite Highland Avenue having the perfect trip, and Highland Avenue's got to give him £3 more. Embesto gets the hood. You'd say, as John said, you can't settle this horse like a bath of Alka-Seltzers. Is that right, John? Something like that? Pulls like Callum Best. They've got the hood on. Regal Reality beat it on reappearance. It's one of them. I just feel this is the wrong price at 92. Royal Scotsman is interesting, but ran terrible. Epic Titus will probably like the cut in the ground, but again, last 2 runs have been terrible. Sean has a terrible name and is trained by an idiot. Silver Sword, the Cunhas, they love the game. Yeah, that could run up. That could run all right. Royal Dubai, I don't think it's good enough. So, Regal Reality, 2 points, 9-2 generally available. What's not to like with Brian in the saddle?
Easy game, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. That's the one tomorrow. The old Regal Reality. Nick Davis.
I'm coming to the 310, my first 3-year-old bet of the year.
Bloody hell!
I slightly disagree with you in the thing. I think it will still be on the good to soft side, and the only 2 times it's been on there on the good to soft side on the dash.
Yeah,
I know it's a 3-year-old one, but it's a full field. High numbers against the stand rails are really sort of dominated.
Yeah.
I want to be something prominent here, not necessarily leading, but prominent. So I'm going to go split stake wankering with Sturlassen, who very eye-catching booking after making all the running over last time. Murphy up. This one, if you look at his first 2 runs last year as a 2-year-old, he ran in very good company. If you look at the winners of the races and what they're rated now, and it might be a case of just they finally unlocked the key to him, and the jockey booking might suggest that. And Blue Storm, who's right on the stand rail, will be handy. And I think will reverse form despite Due for Luck being there, because Due for Luck's going to be behind him. The same as the other high drawn one here is Mart, who might find this quite sharp and will be coming late. And I always think if they congregate there, I don't want to be coming from too far back. So 1 point each, Sturlassen and Blue Storm.
Split stake wankering again, disgraceful on our final show.
Oh.
Minus merit points there. 10-1 Sturlassen for Nick. I was expecting the big reverse then. Reverse forecast. I can actually see you.
That's what I'll be having, mate.
Yeah, I know you will. 10-1 Sturlassen, 12-1 for Blue Storm. Obviously, Due for Luck in that. We'll come on to that race later, but Due for Luck head carriage like Stevie Wonder. Looked a bit unlucky at Chester last time, hence the market leader price tag. Andy, finish the round.
Right, we're going back to the dash, and I do like this Clarendon House. So I'm going to oppose you here, Lee, with Rock On Tommy on. I thought he gave it a really good ride at York last time out. The horse had impressed me over the winter on the little all-weather racing I did watch, certainly in his wins at Wolverhampton and Southwell, where he looked to have got better and quicker. He's up to a mark. He ran that off 105 last time. He's off 111 here, which is probably bordering on, well, they probably want to go group. If he wins this, he's certainly going to be, they're meant to be targeting him at the Nunthorpe. And if he wins this, then they're certainly going to be wanting to go there. I think he's got enough speed for this. He certainly showed enough speed last time out. It's true that looking for Linda, the Burke horse, he's better off at the weight, but I think he probably won with a little bit in hand last time out. Drawn 12 on what Nick said is not a bad draw. I think he should be favourite over Silky Wilkie, to be honest with you. And 2 points win Clarendon House.
Fair play, 13-2. Ills and 888. Disgraceful outfits, like they all are. But hopefully, if you've got those accounts, if you like Andy's bet, you can follow him in on Clarendon House for the...
And it wins, you won't be having them for long.
No, well, that's the problem. That's the game we're in. Now it's the 3-point round. This is the one where people should take note. And you know I'm going to tip a fav, so I'll kick us off with the most boring bet. Absolutely boring. I bore everyone to tears on this show with the favs. Winning winners. Running Lion in the 2 o'clock, the Princess Elizabeth Stakes. Plenty of pace on here, I think, from Sparks Fly and the Pam Sly flying machine, Astral Bow. they might go at it. Laura and Shane Kelly will be hammer and tongs, hopefully, into the first bend. And O'Sheen can get a nice sit from trap 4. Just sit behind them. And this horse has got some class form. I don't really need to say much about it because you can see it for yourself. If you look back through the form, this is probably a class above this sort of level. As long as things go right, this is a race it should be winning. I'm quite pleased they've dropped back to a mile. In the Dahlia last time, if you do watch it, it had them all in trouble. It had them all like absolutely cooked a furlong and a half out, and then wandered around terribly in the closing stages. Sad to see. And it just finished weakly in the last furlong. I think a mile's fine for it, and I think he gets a nice trip. 3 points win running line, 7-4 Hills, bet 365. Nick.
Hopefully, you, after this one runs, you'll be playing the guitar and won't be calling me a lad insane. We're going to the Northern Dancer Stakes. We're playing for Ziggy. Very likely race. It's probably had a bit of a problem, but still, if you look at last time out, it was trying to give weight to Crystal Delight. It was running off 88. It was trying to give it £4. Crystal Delight is now 105. Fifth to come out won Dual Identity. The sixth was only beaten in a photo last time. The form is solid there. And now it's returned to 12 furlongs, which it's only had, I think, a couple of runs at. It won last time at Kempton. Last time it's the only time it's actually ran at 1 mile 4. Yeah, it's drawn well in 5. There's nothing not to like about it, and that's my axe here, and it's around about 6-1.
It is.
That is my 3-pointer.
The old King's Cot in the saddle 6 as you get with bet 365. So, Nick, hopefully that goes well for you in the Northern Dancer there to 5.15. Qatari is the market leader in that. Andy.
We are going to Musselburgh for the 2.15. It's going to be a bit of a boring one, but a horse who should have, another O'Mara horse who should have won last time out. I'm not quite sure how it didn't. New Image, absolutely hacked up on the all-weather a couple of times over the winter. Once over 5, once over 7. Brought it back on the turf over 7, and David Nolan copped it up, basically, at Thirst last time out when he should have won. Going really well, the horse. Didn't get a run about 2 furlongs out. Eventually got a gap, and then managed to get it snatched up near the line as well. The horse is totally unexposed. As long as he doesn't get too far back round Musselburgh, which I hope he won't, then he should be the type to sort of go on. I can see him running in a lot better races than this one throughout the year. We've actually got him entered up at Leicester on Monday as well, so I just wonder if they're going for a quick double here. But 3 points on the nose, New Image.
Yeah, he was an edge bet with Yorkshire in the race. We did a Dutch last time. And David Nolan, who's riding about 417 winners in the last 3 months, decided to give it an absolute
he's been riding really well, and then he cocked that one up.
That was a bad one.
That was a horror.
Nevis Tarot 75, according to Gordon Brown.
That'll do nicely.
New Image with bet 365 for you, Andy, for your 3-pointer. Nice selection, that, by the way. John?
Can I just ask you, Nick, which do you think was the best version of Ziggy Stardust, Nick? Was it Bowie or Barhouse? Because I'm a Barhouse man myself.
Oh, right, are you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm even older than you, so...
John, oldies showing their age. Yeah, Ziggy.
I'm older than a lot of you, so.
I'm just thinking it's nice when 2 old pros come together, you know. And I don't mean like our Queen meeting Katie Price or anything like that, but.
Have you been watching that? What film have you been watching again? 2 old pros.
Well, I said like our Queen meeting Katie Price, but 2 old pros have come together for this final tip on the Friday show, and it's in the 5.50 at Epsom, and I'm going with the Carlton Palmer train, Flaming Rib.
Oh, we've done it.
Got Claxton.
Absolutely. What better way to finish? And if anyone ever thinks, you've staged this, no, we haven't. We never confer selection. So this is tremendous.
Anybody that's listening now, I'm holding up my working out just to show I've approached this completely differently to Nick. And everything. And
This
it's
is a
all
countdown
normal.
moment, isn't it? This is a Richard Whiteley moment. You have to show you're working.
Carol Vardaman sticking her ass out as she puts the numbers up.
Yeah.
Shane's sticking with the project after coming up with every excuse in the book last time, which didn't even matter because the world and his wife was a float up anyway. For me, Carlton's in better form this year. 2 wins over a turn in 6 furlongs, which I think is quite significant, actually. It's not something many horses achieve in this country. He's got a lovely draw, enabling to track the lightly paced Monkey Apollo 1, as somebody already pointed out. And also, somebody already pointed out, he's gone from 112 to 104. Going is not an issue. 3 points win. Thank you very much, and good night.
It is. That's the final tip on Bastards. It happens to be a klaxon. What better way to finish? 16 to 1. Flaming Rib, Nick and John. And Nick,
Doesn't John get 14s?
Why? Yeah, 14s for John.
Yeah, you're right. You're all term six. Okay.
It doesn't really matter because if that wins, John wins naps. So there you go. So there we go. 14s or 16s. It matters not. Flaming Rib. Fun to do in our final show. Hopefully the best bets round will make you profit this weekend. We're certainly fucking due. So let's hope it's a good one for us on Saturday. Right. Andy, did you look at that Agus thing?
Yeah, I have the numbers sitting here in front of me. It's going back to 1997. I think he might have, I'm not sure when he started training, actually, but I can only go back that far for the wonderful Proform software.
But he had the Derby winner the year before, so.
Nick's memory, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay. Well, since 1997, gelded first time 81 from 315, which gives you a winners above expected figure of 11.55, 20, nearly 30 points profit SP. And if you take it down to the fact that when he's had a gelded first time in a handicap first time, he's 63 from 216, wax of 10.72 positive, and you would have made 11 points. So not massive profits, but he has got a very, very good strike weight and winners above expected figure. So you can expect the ones with the nuts off to run pretty well.
Yeah, well, just a good trainer. And the man knows what he's doing.
Just goes to show that if we'd done nothing else but have 35 grand on every one of those that he ran, we'd have been all right.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
It's all about being selective.
Just go around selectively, like throughout the country, overnight and in the day, and whack it all on. Yeah, just go for it. In the glory days, of course, that could happen. Not now. But anyway, we move on to the television action, and there's only 5 on telly tomorrow.
That's far too many.
You're trying to showcase the Derby. It's outside the premierisation window. Hate the concept anyhow, which the Oaks was as well. The run at 4:30. And you've got 6 other meetings on the same day. Madness. Absolute madness. Mind you, they did do the draw with, ping pong balls with numbers written on them in the middle of a car boot sale. Yeah,
I did like Chris Pull's comment on that. That was my favourite. And he said it'd have been better if you'd got a tie bird laid out on a table shooting ping pong balls from a fanny to do the draw.
Yeah.
Well, he drummed up a bit more action in Epsom High Street, wouldn't he?
The most interesting bit was the people examining the big birthday cake in the background.
And people said it were partridge. Oh, God.
Who came up with that idea?
They're amazing. I mean, drawn on numbers for ping pong ball. You'd have think they'd have had them specially made or because it's a one-off race. And then you could have given them as a memento to the owner and say, look, that was the draw.
Because your draw ball.
Draw ball. Yeah.
Maybe they hired the ping pong balls from Thailand.
I think they'd have been...
Nick
they'd have been better off having
Chaseway or somebody, didn't he?
They'd have been better off having Rod Stewart doing it after his exploits on the Scottish Cup draw.
That was fantastic.
If you haven't seen that, go and dig it out on Twitter.
Yeah, it's totally pissed. That's where they'd have been better off having me doing it. You're having 3/4 of a litre of gin, not giving absolutely 2 oaks, and it's.
Lee, do you remember that on that legendary podcast when I think it was Royal Ascot last year?
What did we do?
Oh, you were rat-arsed.
Oh, I know. Well, I know. The best image, and I'm mentally scarred from like doing Bar Stewart's podcast from many things. Like John always plants like photographic images in my head and stuff like that, and I can't get them out. It's like you need an engineer to get them out. It's like, get them out.
The worst one is the one about that steamer.
Oh yeah, the Cleveland steamer.
Steamer.
Yeah, we love a Cleveland
Jesus.
steamer.
Don't look that up.
But I'd say the best Royal Ascot memory I've got is the guy that Luke Harvey's going round all the interviews. Do you remember that big guy, sat shirt and tie in a sort of a deck chair? And he's like,
big buffet in front of him, wasn't it?
Sunglasses, look miserable as sin, and like Luke Harvey goes up to him, like expecting, oh, sir, how's your day? You enjoying it? And he went, no, it's rubbish.
I thought that was Nick just going, no.
It was having a thunder awake, wasn't he?
If you probably make 4 or 5 losers, that'd be me and John as well. But that was top TV. You can't beat that. We've had some fun times on this show. So okay, TV race time. 2 o'clock Epsom is the first tomorrow. They're ignoring the 125. Can't be arsed. I thought Lydia was laughy today. Very laughy with her interviews. She might be laughy again tomorrow. I don't know. Let's see. Good old Lids. 2 o'clock Epsom. Running Lion, obviously my tip for the top in the Princess Elizabeth Stakes. Any thoughts on this, chaps? I can see Nick sitting this one out being a fillies and mares.
What do we make? I mean, we can forgive the 3-year-old that run at Longchamp, can't we? From trap 15.
No, she is very progressive. But is she running Lions class?
It's impossible. Official ratings say that she's only £3 below.
I find that a bit bizarre to me.
I find it a bit, but it's just Sparks Fly doesn't really, unless it's really hock deep, it doesn't deserve its 106 in my mind. Unless it's really hock deep. Astral Bow's another one that's inflated rating on really soft going. So you've got Sparks Fly, Astral Bow, to me are really inflated runners. It's just the 3-year-olds are sort of unexposed, and you never know.
Exactly.
I can see yeah.
To be honest, and I'm not going to knock you because obviously Cheat Columbine's a much bigger price, so and obviously that can progress. But from what I can see of what's ran, when you've put them to the sword in the Dahlia about a furlong out, which it did, that's another. I mean, obviously Pam Slice was slammed by it, slamming the lamb. So I just thought this would get a nice trip because I think O'Sheen knows the time of day. Sparks Fly will go on, Pam Slice. And I just think he just slots in behind him. And it's one of them. It's just, well, you just produce it at the right time and the filly's ready to go, then she's ready to go. John?
If I had to have a bet, I'd probably go with an each-way play on Royal Dress. 1 on debut for this yard. Bit of a trainer upgrade, I think, James Tate from the Yogurt Cannon. And there might still be a bit more improvement to come from this filly rated 102 already. Doesn't take much more of a step forward to get a rating among it. So I'd probably rock along with that one.
Yeah, you're wrong, Andy.
Yeah.
I probably agree with you, Lee, to be honest with you. To be rather boring. But it's probably the one. I didn't see an awful lot of strength in depth in the race, to be honest with you. But if I had to have a bet, then it would be Running Lion. But you don't have to, do you?
Well, this is it. Tomorrow, there's plenty to go at. You know, you have to be quite selective in what you do. You don't have to play every race, but the TV action is what thrills our audience in terms of ITV output and stories. What stories will we have tomorrow? 2:35. Diomed. Embester heads the market at 4-1. Hooded for the first time. Regal Reality. In fact, producer, amend that. Hills have gone 6 as Regal Reality. I want that. I don't want 9-2. Yes. Hills price boost. She says yes. She's giving me the thumbs up. I'm allowed 6-1 for Regal Reality. That's amazing, John. 6-1 for Regal Reality.
She's a good run now. I made it between Regal Reality and the absolutely rancid last time Royal Scotsman. I was prepared to give him another go. But if you put a gun to me, I would favour Regal Reality because I think he's been in excellent form so far this year.
You've noticed him at Paddock, the Ruth Maddock, and you said he's in good nick, this lad, at the moment. And
9-year-old, and
whenever Ryan rides, it's a massive boost, and I love the fact that he did it last year in unfavourable circumstances. Island Avenue had the run of the race, and I remember saying to you after the race, that grey's tossed it off. Like it got it in the bag. It had rail run it, and then Regal Reality just mowed it down.
I think he likes it round here. I think it sort of wakes him up a bit, and makes him think about where he's putting his feet.
Yeah,
if the quality of horses keeps going down, they'll have to reel him out in the race in another 3 or 4 years' time, still, won't they?
Nick, you're right. It's so telling. Keeping like older horses in training, probably for this reason. They're probably thinking, well, it's not like the case of old where you'd have a 9 or a 10-year-old running in group races and they think, nah, they can't keep up with these, and because they're rubbish. What they're running against, because we're selling everything. So there you go. Nick, your view on this?
I just didn't hope more than I'll probably have a Regal Reality Epictetus reverse forecast. Just to hope that this brings it back to life, the last named, but not with any real conviction.
He seemed to have gone last couple of runs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Andy?
I thought, I get you with Regal Reality. I don't know where that 6-1 is. Have you dreamed that up?
It says it's with Hills.
Can't see any. On what site?
The Hills side.
I'm looking at it. It's 9-2.
Well, we said 3
it's a bet boost.
Right, listen.
3 rule books.
3 rule books, bet boost.
I'm only saying, I thought it was 9-2 across the board. And yeah, if they do go 6-1, it is a real risk. He's probably the safest one in the race, isn't he? Because as you say, last year he won it last year. In fact, the horse, give the horse some credit. He's won a Group 3 contest every year since 2018. This horse, apart from 2021 when he didn't actually run in one. Pretty well there, and he looks a sound one. I thought I might just give Embesto another chance. I didn't think he won last year. He won 3 of his first 4 starts, so the one was a dead heat, and he just looked a useful horse. And that 5th on his return at Newmarket, on paper it looks disappointing, but I don't think he was that ideally placed. He ran a bit free. I think if they go a decent pace here with the hood on, he might settle a bit better, and Roger Vegetables might be able to get a win out of him. It's not the most exciting price at around 4s. I'd want a little bit bigger to back him. If he was about 5s or 11-2, I'd think about backing Embesto, because I think he's probably the one with a bit of progression left in a race where you'd be hard pushed to say many of them have got any progression left.
Yeah, what are we saying about Sean? It's great. I mean, it's fair enough, and it's fair play, Sean. And it's weird because it's a German horse called Sean. How many Seans are in Germany, John?
What were you expecting? Siobhan?
I don't know. I don't know. Himmler.
Do you think that would get through at the VHA, Himmler?
It might get through at German Jockey Club. You don't know, do you? I know, but Becky, your debut is Sean.
He'd still have a few fans, won't he, over there?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Well, it's only like, it doesn't the mad woman, she calls all her horses like Gregory and all them. I thought she owned it for a minute.
She might have been part of breeding. Who knows? Sean, Roger.
It's quite nice. I mean, it's better than all those stupid names where they run all the letters together, which I hate. I'd ban them.
Well, it was owned by Jester Rotgen until 3rd of April 2021, so you've got to blame him or her.
It's all right. I think it's quite nice calling them that. It'd be nice to have a horse called Bert or Harry or Fred or...
John, also, I noticed that this horse was previously trained by Carolee Crackers.
Fantastic.
Training horse called Sean. Trained by Carolee Crackers.
I repeatedly said I wouldn't have a race horse given, but already I want a horse trained by Carolee Crackers.
And it's gone to Ozzy Osbourne in Lambourne. But that's been running well, hasn't it, out in Maidan?
Yeah.
How do we equate that form in Group 2s?
Yeah, you just assume she'll fuck it up round there, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there is that.
What happens in Maidan stays in Maidan.
It does, yeah. There's a lot of going off out there. The old carrots. 3:10. We come on to the 3-year-old dash. Right, even though we've obviously we've put bets out in this race. Nick's gone Blue Storm and
Sturlason.
That's the one. I've got not much opinion, but I do want James Hortons to win because I think this fella deserves like a big winner on the telly, and just to get him up and up and up and up. I know he's like getting some good owners anyway, but Grand Lad I was impressed with at Goodwood last time because I think he's a work in progress. He's got to step forward again, but he's a horse I'd like to see win, and that's my only opinion. Apart from Due for Luck, like head carriage on that is really rancid. Ed's miles in the air. It's like It's prouder than a Sandhurst graduate.
I was told they could only get piss proud, but whatever.
So, John, have you any view on this?
I thought Blue Storm from the rails draw had a reasonable chance. Gemma Tutty remains in reasonable form. The form with Due for Luck isn't bad at all. This one would have a slightly better head carriage. That would possibly do for me, I think. But like yourself, I'd like to say James Winnish if he could.
I'd be cheering that on as a neutral. That's me only interested in the race. Andy Richmond.
I thought Nick came up with one of the most fascinating contenders, this Irish horse, Stilasson, who, as he says, Nick quite rightly pointed out, that the form last year was interesting. He made all to win in a big field maiden at the Van a couple of weeks ago. It's a really quick horse as well, which you could need here, or do need here. It's a very useful attribute. So, and he's been nibbled out in the market already. You've not been round the shops, have you, in your little blue car, Nick, already?
No.
No.
I want. I'm after a retirement bet tomorrow, so.
All right. I haven't had the little blue car out for a while, have we? Yeah. So he would be one, and the other one I thought was the one that Lee picked out, Grand Lad. They gave him a £3 rise last time out. Didn't look
not enough.
I thought that was interesting, Grand Lad. They were the two that I liked against the field in a race where you probably shouldn't be having a bet, to be honest with you. Could be a few hiding their lights under the bushes. I do agree about the other one as well. It's towards the head of the market, Due for Luck, but the head carriage is a little bit interesting. So Grand Lad and Stilasson would be the two that interest me.
Only thing I'm going to say here is, Nick, your sprinter system. Why are you backing an Irish sprinter against British sprinters when?
Yeah, it's only a 3-year-old, mate.
Right, is that the older horses then?
Yeah, it's the older horses when they go.
Two roll.
Yeah, no, fucking rowboats and out there.
Fucking hell, Davies, fucking 3:45 up the hammers. The Aston Martin, Alvin Martin Dash.
That wouldn't be very fast.
They did have one of the best penalty takers of all time though, Ray Stewart.
Yeah.
Just used to smash him.
Ray Stewart.
I was actually there when he in Wembley in 1981 when he equalised against Liverpool before it went to a replay.
Alvin Martin was fantastic as a Sheffield Wednesday fan because he was in his latter years. I think he was 36, and we played the Hammers at Upton Park, and he was up against David Earl. Bit of bad luck there. It was definitely his farewell season, and I think the crowd were sort of like completely like turned off by him. He had a bad year that last year, but he was a West Ham legend, of course. Anyway, back to the dash. Silky 30-2-5. Clarendon House tipped by Andy at 7s. Myself, I've tipped up Drink and Persa. My prices are all over the place because it's fucking racing purse prices. Because Odds Checker have blocked me. Burn down the officers. Burn Andy Holt. Burn them all. Burn them all.
Yeah, I've gone down to them as well, bastards.
Yeah.
Should have paid you tenner.
Do you know what? A tenner, I keep saying it. Barstew's Patreon, and you pay 10 quid for that pile of shit. You've got to be absolutely mad to pay 10 quid for that when you get us for 7. It's just bonkers. But anyway, that's the way of the world, I'm afraid. We'll come to the dash then. John, have you any views on this?
Yeah, I think it's a shit dash, and I wasn't going to tip anything in it.
What will you be doing during the dash?
Dog in pate.
Will you be on the couch, the psychiatrist
right.
couch?
Yeah. Is there any food tips this week? Anything from M&S floating your boat?
No, not especially. I haven't had much nice stuff at all this week, actually.
I've got a good tip. It's a fruit one, though. The producer got me some last week. Donut peaches.
Oh, yes.
Donut peaches? Oh, right.
Yeah, they are beautiful. So what it is, when you buy them, they're not ripe. And you get them back and you leave them like 2 or 3 days. They are sweet. They are absolutely heaven. 5 was demolished in double quick time.
Yes, you're 5 a day.
Well, that's it. That's exactly that.
Isn't it? 5 in 1 day, there you are.
Yes, and it's healthy. We're promoting health now.
I'd have a fruit tip as well, but you can't. Unfortunately, I don't think you can get them in this country. But in New Zealand, there's a fruit called a fujoa, Absolutely gorgeous. Bit like a kiwi fruit, but miles better. Really
For
good for you
sure.
as well. Got lots of potassium in them. And they are lovely. They just grow on the trees there at the side of the road. You just pick loads. My son and daughter-in-law cut the trees in their garden. There were absolute millions of them. I was certainly having 5 a day of them. They're absolutely lovely.
Everyone's
If they ever come out over here, I'll be buying a lot for Joe.
Everyone's Googling.
For Joe.
Can we get them for Joe?
Can you get, well, yeah, we tried, but can't see
so
them.
donut peaches for Joe's. John's gin and pate in the Aston Martin Dash on his couch. Andy, I've already said the Clarendon House. Myself, I'm with Dream Composer. So, Nick Davis, you're the most important cog here.
I'm going with the high draw again. What is going to happen? I'm hoping to have some money and running on this. I want a reverse forecast double, Blue Storm and Stirlasson, with the obvious in here, Silky Wilkie and Clarendon House. And if they pay sort of 30 to 1 and 100 to 1, that's quite a nice double, isn't it?
Wow. I used to know a lad. He was absolutely crazy with gambling. And as teenagers, we were sort of 18, 19 years old, doing the betting shops, watching the racing, thinking we knew everything. He used to do TriCast doubles.
But first, he could have got away with it.
And he got one up.
Jesus.
He won about, obviously small stakes. He was playing like 20 and 30p, so it'd be 20p TriCast double, and he paid $6,000. You ought to see the bucky's face when he collected, because he knew that this lad would just, that's all he'd do. He'd betting like 50p's and 20p's and quids. And it were never going to change. He weren't going to turn him into like a £500. So you could see the sickness when he were paying him out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm done. I'll never ever get to see this again. And he was right. He didn't.
What track? Can you remember what tracks it was? It must have been at first, and them old ones when they used to have that massive draw bias.
Oh, he did it on anything. He did it on grounds, horses. It was always TriCast double. It just absolutely incredible. I used to laugh at him, and that's the thing. I used to say, "You'll be here until you're 50 and not get a winner." When he eventually came in, you only after about 6 months of doing it, 20 pence TriCast double. I just went, "What the fuck?"
Did he keep doing them after that?
But always in like 20s and 50 pences. If they were a bit short of prices, he'd go 50 pence. If they were like long shots or longer shot TriCast, it'd be 20 pence. Crazy.
Did he just do like 3 in each race? Or was it like combinations?
No, it was just straight TriCast double. Yeah, there that day. Now, after the first leg, I'm still laughing at him. I said, like, because you know, in them days, obviously no cash outs. I'd say, What would you take now for your slip? What would you take now for your bet? No, let it ride. They're brilliant. What a character.
Oh, Jesus.
I think he ended up robbing a jeweller's there.
Oh, dear.
Characters. But the thing is, and a message on our final Friday show to the Gambling Commission. Of course, this is what you're destroying: relationships, fun, people, meeting each other, networking, enjoying the game, making contacts, swapping phone numbers.
He's off, isn't he? The old gambling minister, he stood down. He's another one.
Oh, right, Rhodes.
No, Stuart Andrew, that knobhead.
The politician, yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah, we have one every 3 months.
Rhodes out, that's what we want.
Yeah,
This is where it stops people. It's social. I wouldn't have met the people if it wasn't for betting that I have. And I'm so proud to know you. I mean, my best pal in John, I'd have never met him if it weren't for gambling. So there we go. It's kind of sad that
I'm pleased you're not bitter.
I know, but there you go.
You might have met him in some Northern S&M club.
Could have been that. It could have been some kind of like shady.
I've been working on the fucking cloak round this.
Final race of the Bar Stewards Friday show. Been a pleasure to do after all this time, chaps. And it's of course, the big race of the weekend, which is the Derby, over a mile and a half. And I think we can do it justice by going through maybe a lot of the runners and their chances to give a pin sticker's guide to people that need a steer. Right, let's discuss City of Troy. John.
Abject last time, really. I'm sitting on a 20 to 1 voucher and I really couldn't care less because I cannot see him bouncing back.
No, it doesn't feel like an Auguste Rodin. I don't know why I feel like that. That's only gut feeling. I want him to. I really do. I really want City of Troy to bounce back because racing needs a star. It always does. And if some shit ape wins this, everyone's like bored for the rest of the season. City of Troy, I'd love to just win this by 6. It'd give me no brilliant pleasure, but I think financial interest certainly has finished. Nick Davis, City of Troy.
It's very, very hard to sum up. He's got stall 1 as well. What do you make of O'Brien's form as well? The 3-year-olds aren't exactly his crown and glory this year, are they? Could be having it as Anaris Hobbless. You can't back it. Anyone who backs it at 2-1 last week is feeling sick, aren't they? I can't back it. Mind you, I mean, I have to put a disclaimer in, is that if this wasn't the Derby, would you even be looking at it? Really, with the quality of some of these, would you be looking at it? It'd be a listed 3-year-old race.
Yeah,
it really does feel like that, a listed 3-year-old race.
I'll be honest. Say if it was mine and it weren't Coolmore, who were just obviously going for classics, I'd think I'd have gone for some kind of 3-year-old listed race. That's just to see if he's there or not first. But there's only one Derby, and they're not bothered because they'll keep churning them out. So that's the random thing. Aidan O'Brien fancies it for his life. The rest of the yard apparently don't. So read into that what you will. Is Aidan O'Brien the judge he was? I don't know. But there we go. Los Angeles now second in, chaps. Sorry, Andy, comes to City of Troy. Your view on City
I'm
of Troy?
sort of the same as you guys with City of Troy. I couldn't back it at a price, not on that Guineas run. And I think everybody's holding on to the fact that, as you've said, Lee, that he might do an Auguste Rodin from last year. My thing with the Derby is always with O'Brien is that he's won it so many times with not the second string, but the 5th, 4th. He hasn't quite got those this year. So to lead you on to Los Angeles, I think I'd be keener on him, to be honest with you. The thing's unbeaten so far. He's not exactly spectacular, but you know he stays. I thought the win at Leopardstown last time out was decent. He's won that race with Galileo, High Chaparral before they won the Derby. The Aga Khan owned pair of Cinder and Harzen, they both won it. So historically, it's actually quite a strong trial. It's not been spectacular, but when you go through all the others, as we will, you can put a question. I think you've touched on it here. You can put a question mark against nearly all of them, can't you? In terms of quality, something's not quite there. And to be honest with you, it ticks quite a few boxes. I take on board the fact that O'Brien this year hasn't quite been firing, or seemingly not quite firing. I don't know. I'd probably rather back Los Angeles than I'd back City of Troy.
So the only one thing I would say, if you're a City of Troy backer, you can hold on to is that really was he last year a very, very good 2-year-old at a distance too short for him, and he had to run at a mile when he really, really did need further. That's the one thing you can hang on to. On Los Angeles, I don't think I could back him either. So he gets the bum's rush from me.
The thing with City of Troy, if you're sort of nervous about, obviously, in the pedigree, there is absolutely tons of stamina. This is like Nick says, this could be the making of City of Troy, the trip. It could just be a mile at 3 is no good, especially at that kip at HQ, which, you're out your comfort zone. And to be honest, I'd love him to win because obviously they justify pedigree statisticians that are going on Twitter. They don't trade on. Idiots. Absolute morons. I want him to sort of just do that for them and stick it right up them. Los Angeles then will come on to the second in. Personally, I don't think this is good enough to win a Derby. I watched him at Leopardstown. I think he's workmanlike. I think he's quite slow, really. Doesn't really interest me at all, John.
37 hours, isn't he?
I don't think this is a Derby winner. I'll be a mate.
Yeah, I mean, he'd turn up at 7-2 for a Teddy 7, and you'd think, well, good chance, solid place bet, Yeah.
Nick Davis, Los Angeles?
No, I can't. I don't think he's good enough. So
yeah. Obviously, Andy's commented on Los Angeles already. Ancient Wisdom, we move on. Charlie Appleby. Obviously, dance sequence running well in the Oaks. He's had the Guineas winner in notable sequence. What we thinking for Ancient Wisdom?
Well, the Epsom executive is going to be sick as pigs if that wins out there after he got thumped in the Dante.
Obviously,
Yeah.
ground and ground. He's got that piston-like action. He won on heavy in the futurity.
Yeah. You're not wanting him as your midsummer champion, are you, though? You know what I mean?
Slow.
The shirt house just smashed him fucking sideways. That wins your showpiece race of the season. We're all on the downer now.
Well, that Dante was just a one-horse race, and rest them behind are much of a muchness, weren't they?
I think the winner of the Dante is useful, but I couldn't understand why everybody was jumping up and down, wanting him to run.
Well, they thought it might be. They thought this might be a hot deep one at one stage, didn't they?
I didn't know why everyone was jumping up and down, wanting him to run in the Derby, and Agus did the right thing and said he's going to look after him. Just people were just talking out their arse there, to be quite honest with you. And they've done the right thing with economics, so I think it'll be a decent horse in time. When they run him on the right sort of tracks with Ancient Wisdom. Is the ground soft enough? I don't know. Could run well, but wouldn't be for me.
We move on to Ambient Friendly, the Lingfield Derby trial winner. I thought this had a bit of mileage, really. I quite liked it. Very impressive at Lingfield. Put them to the sword. Maidan came out with the run of the race, mind, and beat Space Legend at Goodwood. But still, to have that thump by 8 lengths, that shouldn't be far away in a derby, maybe, John, maybe.
Nothing wrong with the way it went round Lingfield. It's probably the first time he's settled properly. Disgraceful decision taking the shepherd off. It would serve him right if he completely refused to settle for Havlin, wouldn't it? The horse himself, if he turns up, he settles. You couldn't grab his chance too much. You'd expect him to be on the premises.
Yeah, Andy?
I think I sort of agree with John, really. Disgraceful decision taking Shepherd off, who's, to my mind, a very, very competent rider, and especially as he gave the horse such a good ride at Lingfield. My worry would be that whether it would actually, settle as well for a new rider. But again, wasn't one at the price I really wanted to get involved with. And sort of in the heart of hearts, you don't really want to see it win because, like John said, it's sort of like it was a bit of a bum decision, really. And they never really gave the reasons given were total bollocks, weren't they, really?
Especially for Rab, he's an idiot. He's been around a long time, but he's just an average, really average journeyman jockey. There's nothing.
It wasn't like you were getting Dettori back to ride it, was it?
No.
You could sort of understand it if Frankie was coming back from America to ride it. You could sort of think, well, hang on a minute, that might not be a bad decision.
Gradley's gone senile, John. He's probably signing up to OnlyFans content and it's send his brain wappy.
Can't blame him. It's usually good.
Nick, Ambient Friendly for you?
For me, probably fights it out with Dancing Gemini.
Yeah, we'll come on to Dancing Gemini now before we do Beth to the rest. This was Jack's anti-post selection for Bar Stewards, Patreon, and Dancing Gemini ran very, very well at Longchamp in the, I'm not going to say it, the French Guineas. John took piss last time. John, what do you think here? He's booked Dylan Brown McMonigal, Justin Bieber lookalike.
He's hardly my flavour of the month as regular readers of our notebook with a test too. I think that lad is possibly the worst judge of pace in the top 10 in Ireland and England.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can just get a dummy sit about 7th or 8th here and then make his move. Because anything that requires a clock in the napper, don't send for Dylan Brown McMonigal, in my opinion.
Nick, views?
I thought Dancing Gemini would. There's plenty of things. I mean, he's shown speed, and there's plenty of snammer on the dam side, and really, my only bet here would be that reverse with Ambient, and I hope for a big payday. I really can't have a lot of these. I mean, the trouble is there's so many sort of when you've got a field like this and the one colt of quality, you've got a great big question mark and then you've got a whole lot of unexposed ones, then yeah, it's not my ring to get really, really involved.
Andy, Dancing Gemini?
Got a chance, won't lack for any sort of tactical pace, possibly a bit of a reservation about the stamina. Take on board John's comments. I don't think, I've seen the Mr. McGonagall give a couple of poor rides in the past. I wouldn't go, certainly wouldn't be going overboard about Dancing Gemini. Just worry a bit about his stamina a little bit, but it's sort of about the right price. If I'm not looking for much at the front end of the market, there might be a few of the longer shots. We've seen plenty of horses placed in the Derby at big prices. There might be a few just to throw a few darts at here, which I'll elucidate on in a minute.
We'll come on to the rags in a sec. Just to finish Dancing Gemini, obviously, I'm not as concerned about the stamina. Camelot won the Derby. Australia, the Damsire, won the Derby. I would say it's pretty reasonable. You could expect this to stay and do all right. A bit worried about the jockey, like John says. I'm not a fan of him. So it's a strange booking, really. I'm like scratching my head on that one. I know he rode it last time in the French race, but I don't know. Roger's an idiot. There we go. Anyway, so Dancing Gemini hopefully can win for Roger Teal and the Bar Stewards Anti-Personal Advice. Let's come on to the rags, etc., etc. Best of the rest. I want your best rag from each of you now that could outrun their odds. John.
Mr. Hampstead.
Right, but I spoke to a fellow the other day and he said, God, that's slower than a hearse.
I don't care. Right, you've got full. Well, is he half brother to the Oaks runner last year?
Yes.
Ground was too quick last time at Chester. Whizzing round there, I'll walk him up no end. He'll appreciate being able to make a print tomorrow. Trainer upgrade.
Yeah. What, the Brazilians from vegetables?
Yeah. And I think they'll be staying on when a lot of these have cried enough. I think he's a banker for the
Love
front
it.
side.
Love it. I love a Mystica, a Clive Britton. No, Terrymon. I've got the wrong race. Mystica was the Guineas. Terrymon was the Derby. 150 spoke for John. And a case well made. Slower than a hearse might work tomorrow. If they go bananas, this horse might be picking late on. Andy Richmond.
Well, if I thought there's one or two that are quite interesting. Voyage is certainly interesting. And Mr. Balding has had a couple of big price placed horses in the race, so you've all got to take a look at his. But at the risk of, I can never leave these third, fourth, fifth, sixth strings of O'Brien's alone. And Euphoric, I can't let that go off at 30 plus on Betfair. There's no way that should be that price. So Euphoric would be my dart at the certainly a dart, but there's a few knocking around there at big prices that would be interesting. Voyage probably the most interesting of the lot. I know it's only ever had one race, but we had a couple of once race winners of the Derby. Lantara would be the last one, and Charmet as well.
Yep.
So, but no, Euphoric third string for O'Brien.
Nick Davis.
I would probably, going on the pace of the race, I think there's going to be something picking up the pieces there. There could be a few going forward. I would probably have to roam with John with Mr. Hampstead.
Wow. Slower than a hearse was said to me. He said, I've backed some horses in my time. This is a fellow that I said, Mr. Hampstead runs. I won't back him at Chester. And he says, well, I like him. He says, there's fuck all in here. And he said, oh, you're right. He says, this horse is slower than a hearse. So there you go. Can a slower than a hearse win the Derby at 150s or show up in the places? John thinks so. Nick thinks so. I'd say God's Window for me, don't rule that one out. He's literally, 1.5 lengths behind the Futurity winner? Like 2 lengths behind Ancient Wisdom?
No, he can fuck off. We don't want him winning it after the bloody Sardinian Warrior.
No, it's treble figures, John. I've got to mention it. Hundreds is big. It's a good dart score. That's a decent darts average. So we sort of sum this up then. It's been fun to do. 42 months worth, probably in the region of 180, 200 shows of Fridays.
Wow.
We've enjoyed it, and we appreciate your listening and, of course, your custom on Patreon. That's me, John, Andy, Nick, and all bar stewards signing out for the final time. A sad day. Bye for now.